coming to what you and Gauda were mentioning about the screenplay, if the camera is not moving, then the editing is making you feel like that. Like they are constantly changing the frames every 3 seconds, every 5 seconds. So even if the camera is not moving, editing is changing the scene. So that's where I felt the
Yeah,
movie was rushed. Yeah, and editing could have been better, much better. Editing could
yeah.
have been much better. I don't know if you guys feel this, but when the whole massacre happens and the Daiva kills Kulashekara's character, they pan above and then they go in directly into a sobbing mode. Rishabh's character Berme was possessed by Daiva, so there is no bodily or emotionally change in him. He's just sobbing because his mother has died, and then the other people are also saving the villagers, or they are crying as well. I felt that that could have been much dealt with much better, because in first Kantar movie, when Guruva dies, the villagers their grief and Achu's characters comes in that dynamics, and then they go to jail and and tell Shiva and his visions about Guruva crying, and then those scenes, those were really well done, really well done. I felt that that emotional gravitas is not there here. Uh,
No, the
Mm.
thing is, this is a crowd. This is a crowd.
yeah,
That is a very well written character progression. And another thing is, I'll tell you, there is actually a visual where he was possessed by Daiva and he has to come back to normalcy. There is a process for that. They do show. I mean, they pour water on him. They're like purifying him. That kind of thing is happening.
yeah,
But because of that distraction of camera movement and editing, you probably missed it.
yeah,
They do that because they bring him on, two people bring him on their shoulders. So
yeah,
he's unable to walk. He's unable to walk, but a lot of people would have missed it. And
yeah.
I'll tell you, I have watched this movie in like second class, third class, first class, everywhere. Those people don't even care about these things. Nobody pays
Yeah,
attention to
yeah.
these things.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
Yeah,
if you apply the 80-20 rule for the 80, it works like really good. The other 20 is us.
no, I'll tell you,
yeah,
even after the first week, even the people who go to multiplex after the first week, they don't care about details. First,
yeah.
there's a reason why you are called a fanboy. Everyone is fan because they're fanatics. They go watch, they pick all these details. Rest of the world, they don't care about these details.
Care about it. Yeah. What was that point with all those small animals?
So
Did
that
I mean
is
I? Uh,
that is basically so they need something to some materials, raw materials to go and do that. What do you call, like, I don't know the uh, English word for it. So black magic kind of thing. So to do that, they need some stuff, right? Like, so they are using
oh,
the tears of the animal.
oh God. Okay, okay. I did not
So you missed all
get
those
that.
things. So this is the point. Like bad sound, bad sound, bad editing.
Yeah,
Uh,
if you see just before the interval scene, when Rishabh he throws like a knife to
huh,
that lemur, and then it drops, and then everything breaks loose. So
drops.
maybe that's like an indication
Black
of
magic.
that. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Oh,
That's
okay,
for
okay,
black
okay.
magic. That's a
Mm,
boundary.
mm.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
And one
Yeah.
more aspect in what makes a movie visually like a sensory appeal apart from the visuals is the music. So what I felt was the songs were good. I mean, Madana Manamohini was almost like a duplicate of Singara Siriye, but
Singara
Brahmakalsha
City.
was well done. The
Yeah.
war cry song didn't work for me, because that war cry song in the end, when the war was happening, it gave a feeling that okay, Rishabh and his band of tribals will win. That they it's like one tone song where it says that okay, they are marching ahead and then they will beat these guys and they will win. I don't think so. That song was necessary. They could have used another other kind of background music in that. So that didn't work for me. BGM though, in some places, as I said before, where they reused the versions from the first Kantara, that was really good. And if you see in the first part, when the person is explaining about the Rajashekara, there is one flute song which gives like a mystic feeling to
Mm.
that for the Mayakara character especially. So that was really well done. And then the in the comedic scenes in the first where the chariot runs riot, it felt like a Pirates of Caribbean. And in the intermission portion where they are fighting with the Kadapa, if you just close your eyes and hear the music, it felt like Black Panther to me. So not much of innovation from Ajnish Lokanath this time I felt. And some musical portions were just put in without polishing it. So overall it was good for me, not great, because in first Kantara the music is one thing that make you feel about the daiva or the other things. Yeah, for me, for the music for me was good but not that great. What did you guys feel?
Mm.
Because just to be sure,
Got to
I used my stereo headphones just so that when you're watching the
listen.
TV you might miss some things, but it didn't work for me.
Yeah, I think the Rebel song, it's from Kantara. It's again, it's not a new song. So it's
Yeah, yeah,
there. So
yeah.
when he comes out of the jail, he's going to meet Achut's character. So the song is in Tulu, not in Kannada in that movie. I think the lyrics are different. So what amazing song! I think Brahma Kalasha is good, but the the Karumada Kallanu, that song again coming back, Karma song is too good. I
Too
mean
good.
that guy Venki DC is a different level. So that I follow him on his channel. Like all his songs are good. He's a very good singer.
Yeah.
And so
Mm.
Abby, right?
again, huh? No,
Abby.
not Abhi. Venki.
Venki.
Karma
Okay,
song.
okay.
Karma
Mm.
song.
Karma.
So he's
Ah,
really
Karma
good.
song. Okay. I think Abby sung Brahma Kalasha song. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Abhi sang Brahma Kalasha. Abhi, they wanted to bring him because he's fresh.
Fresh, yeah.
He's
Mm.
fresh. Nobody has used him, so he's fresh. I think
Fresh
he's
and also for social media reach.
no, I don't think so. They didn't use him much for publicity. Publicity was all Kulashekara.
Okay.
It's all
Yeah.
Kulashekara.
Yeah, yeah.
So
See, I mean,
yeah.
I feel that
Background music. I felt very noisy, very
yeah.
noisy, very noisy, and in a lot of places, I don't like music playing throughout the movie. I want to know where they are. I mean, the at no point you feel the silence of the Western Ghats. The Western Ghats. You need to feel the sound of Western Ghats. I know
Yeah.
the sound of Western Ghats.
Yeah. Good point.
We have camped there. Actually my school was very close to Western Ghats, so it was in a forest. So I know the sound of that region. So that sound is missing. Like silence is missing in this movie. Like there's no point where they're silent.
Yeah. To
So
be very honest, there are two things. One, that is the general complaint I have with even all the Christopher Nolan movies, that no scene goes without any background music, especially if you see Oppenheimer.
yeah,
Every scene is accompanied by some or the other background music, whether there is some piano playing and some other playing. I think when you look at that scene in Heat, right? If you imagine that scene in Heat with some piano playing or some violin playing in the background or some drums playing because there are two characters, it would have completely made it look very poor. But it's just actually you hear some other people eating with their plate. It shows it is happening in a very regular place, and that's what I think, Gauda, you're referring to, is that I want to hear those crickets and that leaves moment without having drums and all, that to be
yeah,
played, right? So
the waterfall. There's a
ah
waterfall close by. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So and I think we are also, I think if you look at some of the like if you see Dune, or if you see Sicario, I think we are spoiled by some amazing original soundtracks that happen in such movies, right? If you see even Garuda Gamana, in Garuda Gamana, I was looking at the scene where There's one scene where she's cutting the fish. At one element, there's background music to show that something is smelling, right? And then it cuts back, no background music, where she's simply cutting, right? Front and back, which brings an elevation as to why this background music is being used to tell the audiences something is happening. While if you look at the back, okay, nothing might be happening, right? So the way you use background music, for example, again in Garuda Gamana, when they extend that song that is playing in that bar owner's room, right, to a magnificent soundtrack that happens when he's hitting him with that paperweight that transforms. So the way you use background music is also an art, and I feel that like everything in this movie, even that is rushed, where they figure out if it is jungle, we'll give some drums. If it is an fight sequence, we will do some of the trumpet. So they use some template background musics to simply rush and kind of do that, right? Because background music is so important for a movie like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel this is in general for commercial movies. It's they use constantly the background music to make the audience feel certain way. So
Yeah.
if there is a silence or there is no background music, you might feel something, I might feel something. So yeah, it's like okay, to keep the tonal continuity of the movie, they use the background score. Yeah, and yeah, agreeing with Gauda here. Yeah,
No, but
it's too noisy.
see,
It was too
again,
noisy.
no, Chetan, the tonal continuity, right? I disagree. For example, the tone is set in the visuals that you show. For example, when we were seeing Jurassic Park, when we do not see that lamb that is tied to that rope, we know that's the dinosaur is going to come out. There was no background music. We know that something big is going to happen there, right? So the for example, let's imagine that they are shooting that pre-interval scene, they're going to that forest. If I'm showing just the silence of the forests, that is more menacing than showing some or playing some tune which is like a drums or something, right? Because I don't I want to experience, I want to be there in that scene with you, right? So the tonal continuity is something which they have to let the audience think that, okay, you are smart enough to figure out that something like this is going to happen. I'm going to a jungle, so I want you also to take in, you into the jungle, right? So I feel that they have overused background music. There was no
Yeah,
silence, like Gauda said. I completely agree, with that. And it was a mix of multiple background music. Only the portions where the original Kantara tunes were used worked for me,
yeah, yeah,
right? Of
yeah.
course, the Brahma Kalasha was a new addition, but the uh, other aspects which were reused from Kantara were the only parts that actually worked for me.
Yeah, good point. Good point. And one more thing, I think you both will be agreeing with me, is the impeccable production design they did with the costumes, with building of the Bangra kingdom and everything. I didn't find uh, even a single flaw in how they approach, how they address the characters, how the sabhe was set up, even the tribals, their dresses, their everything. So there I feel you don't even see this level of detailing in any Indian movie. Not even Bollywood is doing such level of
Yeah.
detailing. Yeah, so you feel that the people belong to that region. Okay, the tribals belong to the Tulunadu, and then the Bangra kingdom was not so operatic or royal. It was kept royal to some extent, but the way they walked, their dresses and everything.
Mm.
I mean, credit to Rishabh and his wife. They did really great job there. Yeah, because I
Yeah, I
noticed
think.
Uh,
in
when
Kantara.
Yeah.
you're talking about the authenticity, so there's another thing that I want to add, the dialect that is used. So if you look at any period movie in Kannada, the Kannada that they speak is definitely not the Kannada that the people 500 year, 800 years ago used to speak. This is instead of this movie at least tries to speak like normal people. Even the king is speaking normal Kannada.
Yeah,
King is not saying some trying to speak weird Kannada, which even he himself doesn't understand. He has to bring in a minister to make others understand what he is speaking. So
yeah,
this is they're using normal language, people's language
yeah,
when the king speaks.
yeah.
So that
Mhm.
is
When
At
something
at one
which is
point,
very new.
Yeah, at one point I noticed that Gulshan says to Kankavati Muchkondiru. So I don't know if Kadambas were the original inventors of that Muchkondiru dialogue. Yeah. Yeah,
No,
that,
but
yeah. Go ahead, Abhi, go ahead.
there is a scene where Kanakavati signs a paper,
Yeah.
right? I paused and tried to see what Kannada have they used, because it should be that, right? And I was trying to match whether that Kannada is the spoken Kannada now, and I don't think it was. So I don't know whether you guys have noticed, but when
No, no,
you
no,
when
no.
she
See, the Kannada that we speak today, most of these words were invented in this in the 19th, 20th century. So
hmm,
they're not from. I mean, our great grandfathers they spoke a very different Kannada.
different Kannada,
God, yeah, they spoke a very different language, Kannada. The Kannada, this modern Kannada is very new. It's
hmm,
probably like 150, 200 years. That's all.
yeah,
Old
yeah,
Kannada used to be very different. Same with
different,
every other language.
yeah,
It's not
yeah,
just Kannada. If you see, because the literature, right? The literature and the usage of literature has increased significantly in last 200 years.
Mm.
yeah,
Especially for
yeah,
Kannada, last 800 years has been like significant. So
correct.
that's when the words started spreading. Like pan Karnataka words were not there. Like there were not many words which the entire Karnataka could understand.
Yeah,
It
correct,
was
correct.
different in different regions.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice point.
Another aspect, I mean, you're talking about production value. By one line, I think Rishabh has used the money well, right? I
Yes,
mean, you
absolutely.
see that 125, 130 crores or whatever, 150 crore is seen throughout the film. He has made sure that the production design, the sets, everything looks very authentic. I think Chetan, you mentioned that in that Brahma Kalasa song, there was also a shot where far behind in some temple, in some hill also, you could see some lights.
Yeah,
So there is a lot of attention to detail, I think, that has gone in making of this film. But again, what has happened is that Rishabh Shetty got so many good shots from Kashyap that he said, no, 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 I have to use this. So again, it is filled with a lot of shots which he says, no, 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 now let's show this, let's show this, let's show this. So I think that was the part. But production value, there's absolutely, I mean, I was looking at Mohenjo-daro and all these films. It's one of the worst production values that I've seen for such a big periodic movie and all that, right? So I think they have absolutely done justice to the money. They have done justice to the production values. They have spent a lot of time understanding. Somebody was also checking, how did Persian or Portuguese
Portuguese. Yeah.
traders, and somebody looked up and said it exactly was there. They were all trading for spices at that point of time, right? And I was reading a book called The Golden Road by William Dalrymple, and he mentions that spices was the main reason, was the most important export. So a lot of these European coins are still found in India, not in China, because India exported a lot of spices, and that very well agrees to the timeline that Kantara one is showing here. So I think that way they have done great research, great production value for sure, no doubt about that.
They
Yeah.
could, they could have showcased it better with some more lights. Probably like 10 more lakhs for lights. Make it brighter. Like light up. Light up. You could have shown it much better. Too
No, I think
dark.
the Sabhe and the this thing, I think it was very well lit up,
Very
Gauda.
well
For
lit.
to be
Yeah.
very honest, the
Yeah.
tribal part, maybe a little bit here and there, they could have shown more lamps. I don't know whether they had lamps, but otherwise, I
Sponge.
felt that
It is
thing.
sponge. Yeah. It is. Those are the lamps.
Uh, yeah. To your question, on a lighter note, was the reason why they felt that everybody has a beard, because no one in Kantara knew how to shave, while Kulasekara had all the thing to people to come and shave his
Yeah. I think a
beard, right? So
good
I think
point.
that was the
Yeah, that's
reason.
fine, but you could have taken that liberty, what is it, writer's liberty, and shave them off.
Liberty.
Give some reason because the thing reason is if you are clean shaven, you have more space on your face for expressing yourself.
Very, very interesting. I was seeing the Lagan making, and Lagan, Amir Khan wanted mustache and a little bit of beard, because he said, first of all, in their village, there's no water. Now, how do you expect them to use that water to shave? So it is illogical for the character to be clean shaven.
Yeah.
But they said, no, no, it's a commercial movie. You can't be an Indian hero with mustache, so they had to make him clean shaven, right? So that liberty that they had taken, I know what you're saying. Maybe they could have taken this liberty in this movie because expressions become much better when you put a camera in front of a shaven man. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Chetan.
Yeah, one point about the shots in the forest, especially the night shots and the tribal shots. I felt Kantara and this one really does well, because if you see the other movies where they shoot in a forest or something, they use some fake light where the light is even falling on the faces of the characters. So here they put that light some 50 100 meters away, and that gives like a bit of a dusky feel where it's not too
Yeah,
well lit, where it's not too lit very less.
yeah,
It sort of gives you a really good feel. I mean, Kantara did it really well. I mean, it was groundbreaking, especially in the first half of the first part, where that Daiva comes and Rishabh runs to the Daiva. That shot is really well lit. So you can see Rishabh running through the forest, but it's not so well lit, or it's not
yeah.
so dimly lit where you
Correct,
can't see where the character is moving.
correct, correct.
And
Agree.
one good thing about Kantara Chapter 1 is the minimal use of VFX. They shot at the real location. They use VFX where they wanted, but the shooting in the real location gives you that feel, and that was needed for the
Yeah,
movie of such scale.
agree,
It,
agree,
it also
agree.
saves you a lot of money.
Yeah,
Money.
Location, on location shooting
exactly.
saves you a lot of
Yeah,
money.
plus I think Western Ghats have amazing locations, so I think they have done good recce to find out good location and put up the sets there.
Yeah, they had to find a private forest because in government for a forest you're not allowed to do these things.
Allowed to shoot, yeah.
They
Yeah.
found a private forest and they created all the palace and everything. And another thing, so the scenes which are like really essential to be at night, to be dark, they're really good. But if you look at those scenes where they follow the tiger and those kind of things, right? Like they started following tiger in
Mm,
daytime. Like suddenly, why is it dark? Because that shouldn't have happened because if you're doing
yeah,
this at day, because those people faces are already dark.
Yeah.
Bring them
yeah,
out in day. It's okay. It's okay.
yeah.
That's
No, no, agree.
uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair point. Fair point.
Good. So yeah, then you guys have any other points cinematically that you want to highlight? I think we have touched upon story, screenplay,
Yeah.
editing, the
See, I mean,
cinematography.
I had one question to both of you, right? I mean, if you were to decide after, I mean, just assume that it's the first Kantara has been released. Uh, would you A, go ahead and make a prequel or sequel to it, and B, if you were going to make it, what would be your idea of how you'd want to tell that story, whether it's a prequel or sequel? Would you make it in the first place?
Yes, of course, because Kantara, whether successful or not, that's the second point. Because at that time, whole this boycott Bollywood movement was going on. The South movies were getting pumped up, and Kantara was a beneficiary of that one. Not to take away that it was a really good movie. I would make the prequel, just not to show the vastness or the Kadamba kingdom or this thing. More focus should have been on the Daiva side of things, like to explain more of that. And okay, and in the first part there was tussle between Kishore's characters, which came on the government point of view, and then there was the villagers point of view, and then there was the zamindar point of view. Here I felt that that was not there. If I would have made that more tussle between man versus nature, here the tussle was more between the tribes and the kingdom.
Greeds.
Yeah, the greeds. Yeah, like that. So the nature point of view is shown that okay, if you screw around with the nature, then it will surely hit you back. The adharma point of view, the adharma point of view is only with respect to a man. How the even the tribals face attack from the you mean the wild animals or some other, when they venture out to do agriculture, they would have also felt
Mm.
some pushback from the nature, right? That point
Yeah.
was not shown. It was like, okay, now we have to trade. Okay, now we do agriculture, go and sell it. That was done. That point should have been also included. I would have included these, and then yeah, more explain, not explanation in the sense that okay, you give voiceovers or something. Show one aspect of filmmaking should be that you should show and not tell. Visually you should show how the daiva and the dynamics of it, rather than giving a voiceover as to okay, now we have to light a fire and now we have to do this, now to do that's not like that. Yesterday I watched a movie called Baramula. If it's on Netflix, um, it's about a family who is come to Baramulla to investigate a case, and the family experiences supernatural elements in that, and it gets tied back to a point of history in Kashmir very well, and there is no dialogue explaining about it. It's only a brilliant exposition in the end. You have to you have to decipher yourself about it. You have to know about that history. So that is an aspect of filmmaking which is showing the audience and not telling the audience. So more
Mm.
on this one. That's what would be my approach to the prequel of Kantara.
Yeah, so I wouldn't make Kantara Chapter 1. I wouldn't make prequel, I wouldn't make sequel. So see, I'll tell you something. If I made Kantara, I I had access to something which nobody thought of using. So I gave access to a lot of other people. I would like them to explore. I'll just move on to another thing. There's so many things. There's so many things from Kundapura he can explore. Repeating Kantara is not something he should have done. I mean, I wouldn't have done if I did Kantara, because that's a really successful movie. 400 crores is a lot of money. So,
Yeah, it is
yeah.
like Steven Spielberg not returning to direct any of the Jurassic Park
Park,
sequels.
yeah.
He said, "I have done. Now it's up to you. You can do
Yeah,
whatever
he
you want
didn't.
with it."
He didn't. Like
He didn't. He didn't.
he even went to school, back to school, and did his MS. Okay, he did school projects. He submitted Schindler's List as his thesis for MS. So, yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I think this probably I probably got inspired by Steven Spielberg not to try doing these things, sequels, prequels. So yeah,
yeah.
so
Uh,
yeah,
I
it's for
I
someone
agree to.
else. It's for
Yeah,
someone else to do.
yeah, yeah. See, to be very honest, uh, anything that you do becomes an education exercise, according to me, because you're now starting to explain things, right? You have said something, now you are just doing this so that, this is the reason why, this is the history, this is where it comes from. Unless you have a very thrilling story to tell, which you have discovered and a new element, I am, I think you're done. Maybe rewatch Kantara again if you want, enjoy it, but I wouldn't make anything with prequel or sequel to
So I'll tell you,
Kantara.
if you
But
look at Rishabh's work, right? If you look at Rishabh's work, his first movie, the Ricky. Have
hmm,
you watched Ricky? Both of
Yeah.
you?
no, no,
So
I'm not.
Ricky is it is amazing subject. It again comes from Western Ghats. So it is
Naxal,
there was an
Yeah.
Naxal issue. There was an Naxal issue. I also come from the same region. There was an Naxal issue. It was huge. You go to
hmm,
Agumbe onwards, it's a huge problem. Chikmagaluru, same problem. Kundapura, same problem. So he used that subject. He made a really good movie. So a lot of people after Kantara Chapter 1, they've discovered Ricky, and
Ricky.
they think without watching the movie, they're assuming that he told a leftist story. It is not a leftist story.
Sorry, yeah.
It is anti-Naxal story. So he doesn't like Naxals are the antagonists in that movie, not protagonists. So that is an amazing movie, very fresh subject. And then Kirik Party, fresh subject. He didn't touch the second part or third part or anything inspired by Kirik Party. And then he did Sarkari. Sarkari, he could have done like Sarkari Hiriya Prathamika Shale, and then after Sarkari PUC college, Sarkari Prathama Darja college. So there are a lot of other things you could have done, but he didn't do that. Like he's an amazing filmmaker. He touched these subjects which nobody touched in the past. Kantara again, same thing. There was some subject which nobody touched in the right way. There were movies, there are a lot of movies, but they were not entertaining at the same time. They were preaching.
Mm.
They were
Yeah.
preaching something. This is not a preaching movie. This is an amazing entertainer also. All his subjects are very different from one another. And it was like without saying any words, he was doing a Steven Spielberg. And then suddenly he got caught
Yeah.
with Kantara Chapter 1.
Correct.
So I think he'll come out of it. He'll come out of it. He'll make other amazing movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my limited point is okay, in an ideal world, there shouldn't be any sequels, prequels. Just you have made a masterpiece, just move on. But you can also, in on the other hand, you can also give an argument that Terminator 2 Judgment Day was far better than Terminator 1. Dark Knight was far better than Batman Begins in terms of what they achieved. So there will be an outside chance that they might surpass what they did before. If they are if their head is straight and if they are cinematically inclined and not fall prey into the commercial side of things, I think uh, going forward with all the social media buzz, PR, and everything, every other filmmaker will be falling prey to the commercial side of things. They will find a way to make a prequel or a sequel or a shoot off or a spin off. That I think we'll be living in a world of that one. So I rather see a filmmaker who knows the subject, who is from that area, attempt that one. If it doesn't surpass, that's fine. I mean, Kantara Chapter 1 is not a bad movie. It's a really entertaining movie. If he had surpassed Kantara 1, uh, I mean, no one, people would have talked about Kantara
No,
Chapter One
no,
50 years
I'll
ahead
tell
as
you.
well.
I need to interrupt here. So, all the movies that you mentioned, where sequel is better than the first movie. Name one movie where the directors are same.
Yeah, I mean, Terminator is directed by James Cameron. I mean, Christopher Nolan directed
No, no.
the
Terminator
Batman
2 is
trilogy.
James Cameron. Who directed Terminator?
Terminator 1, James Cameron, he himself directed that one.
Who changed? I
Okay.
think screenplay was written by someone else.
I don't know about the screenplay, but yeah, you can. It's ultimately a director's product, right? So how much ever the writing is good, he has to bring it to screen. Going by the credits to the directors, both Cameron and Christopher Nolan directed the sequels,
Yeah. See,
and I think so.
I'm
Even
not saying.
Jurassic World, even Jurassic Part 2 was directed by Spielberg. The third one was directed by someone else.
Jurassic World was Spielberg, is it? Okay, okay,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah,
See, and I think Jurassic World was a bad movie.
yeah, yeah,
To be
yeah.
very
I mean,
honest,
it's just
see,
for
it's
yeah.
not that I'm not saying we should not make sequels. It is if you have a important story or a nice spin-off or a nice thing to say via the sequel, make it. For example, you took Dark Knight. Dark Knight, the characters and the the villain and all, it was strong enough to have that story told, right?
Hmm.
And there was three elements to it. One is, I think, uh, uh, the first Joker and anarchy, and then power. There were three elements that Christopher Nolan took and kind of made that movie, right? But I'm thinking that especially in thing like Kantara, where the question itself, and again I'm repeating it, that the reason why this movie got made is because somebody asked the question and then saying, what is this land and all that. So it became it already is an education exercise now, because you want to tell the reason, now you are putting all those existing, and it is research. Now Kantara is a work of fiction, the first part. The second part, it goes back to very particular era in Karnataka history, which means that they have to get the specifics right, which means that it becomes even more, education based thing, right? So I wouldn't, and that's the reason why I wouldn't want to do, unless and until there's a great story that is there for this thing, right? So yeah.
Also, I think for Terminator, from Terminator to Terminator 2, they took a lot of time, and I think they built an entire operating system to render the Terminator visuals,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it was built for them. Like it
yeah,
is not something VFX team did not exist. Nothing existed. They built it from scratch.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
Yeah.
it's a different
Cam,
story.
yeah,
Here you're making it back in like 3 years, and also I'll tell you. So Batman is a different story. Okay, Christopher Nolan did not create those characters. Those characters existed long before Christopher Nolan. So he just, I mean, the characters in Batman, they were very well defined by someone else. Like they have, and people are also very familiar with those things in other countries. I was not. I just read Dinga, but the thing is, they're different stories. Here,
Mm.
he should have left it to someone else so that you make a series, you make whatever you want to. It's like a huge opportunity for a lot of other people. And they could
Yeah.
have started one incubation center for people to make short, small stories and then big stories, feature length movies on the world of Kantara.
Yeah. See, again, if the story started off as a two-part, like KGF did, I'm assuming with what Prashant Ning
No,
wrote, and that
KGF was not two part. KGF is not even one part, I think.
no, no, I mean, KGF will do another episode. But I think, see, even Bahubali for that matter, or they are doing Ramayana now, right? All of them, I think there's so much there that they could now. In fact, even Kantara Chapter 1 should be split into could have been split into two parts because the kind of stories and the dense aspects of it maybe, yeah. But I wouldn't have done it. I think Gowda also agrees that probably even he wouldn't have done it. Maybe Chetan, your point is valid that if there is a world to be explored, then there's no harm in doing the sequel, right? If there is
yeah.
something new, right? Yeah. But I mean, I think I thought that I wanted to know what you guys thought on whether the creative decision to make Kantara was a good one or a bad one.
It was a business decision.
Yeah, business,
Yeah.
of course. I mean, in Indian movie industry and specifically in Kannada, there are very less movies that are so successful. Why do you want to pass that opportunity to make a sequel? They will make a sequel. If I'm correct, I heard Rishabh mentioning in some interview that they have so much of content that they can make like a 4 5 part of Kantara. So I don't know if they will only stop at the chapter 2. Maybe they will proceed with chapter 3 or
I
4.
think Shanil Guru will direct chapter 2, Anirudh Mahesh will direct chapter 3.
Okay. Yeah,
If I'm not wrong, in the end they show Adhyaya 2, no?
yeah,
Chapter
yeah,
2.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They do show that.
Yeah, yeah, they do show. So there will be chapter 2. May not in 3 years time, maybe
He
later.
is the James Cameron type, Avatar 5,
Yeah.
6, and all.
Yeah, James
Got
Cameron,
lost
though,
interest.
between Terminator 1 and Terminator 2, he made a spectacular movie. I think that's his greatest movie. According to me, it's called The Abyss.
Abyss, yeah.
Have you guys seen that movie?
I've seen Abyss.
Yeah, yeah. It's
See,
about
just think about it. Like he went back, he made another movie. He came out fresh. He
yeah.
kept this Terminator thought somewhere. He had time to create characters. Like here 257 days they've shot the movie. Before that, they did some research, which is like, dude, he did not study for his 12th Rishabh Shetty. He studied for this. And it doesn't work. He couldn't understand his 12th standard textbooks. And you make him read stuff. That's not good. Like, let him be. Let him just go around, pick something. How he did Sarkari. He's good at those things. They should have allowed him. Like Kantara chapter 2, chapter 1, you could have done like 10 years later.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
definitely a possibility because at that time people want now. Okay, Kantara coming again. What will be the excitement will be there.
There are two people who interviews, and it kind of matches to what Gauda is saying. One was Sandeep Reddy Vanga. He said that although I have shown Animal Park, I have no idea what that story is. So I'm making Spirit now. And while I'm making Spirit, I know I'll get flashes of Animal Park, and that's how I'm going to latch onto it. It has to be very organic.
Yeah.
Similarly, even SS Rajamouli, I think he's working on RRR 2, is what I heard. There is,
Yeah.
a story that has come, but he said I have to, finish Varanasi first and then come back to RRR 2, right? So I think it has to be very organic for, like Gauda said, I think it was something that was shoved down his throat also because it was a money making machine for
Mm.
the production
Because
house, right? So,
and even taking a break from directing, and he could have done that Jai Hanuman. Like,
yeah,
go act in
Yeah.
Jai Hanuman. Because see, what they've done is they've spent 7 years in a rabbit hole.
yeah,
They have not met other people. They've not
yeah,
met other people. Where will ideas come from? Like you don't meet people, you don't interact with other people, you don't discuss, you don't validate your, test your ideas. You need to test your ideas with outsiders. These people are testing with each other, and they're the co-writers. Everybody likes it. So you are writing, you like
yeah,
my scene,
yeah,
you like my scene. So that's what
yeah,
happened with Kantara. If you go to the writing, like they've not interacted with outside world. I think they also cut off with Rakshit. They also cut off with Rajbi Shetty. So what happened with Kantara, right? Like the bigger team, Kantara was like open source. Everyone was there.
yeah, yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
was there. This time Microsoft comes and captures everything. Hombade like pack. Okay, nothing is going out. Even the actors who is acting will not reveal who is acting. So
Yeah.
that sort of thing probably. They did not work in the environment that they have previously worked and what made them successful, right? That was not the
Yeah.
environment which Rishabh and Shanil, Anirudh Mahesh, they were not writing story in that kind of environment. They wrote
Mm,
in a very different environment.
Yeah.
They were in a jail while writing
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Cool.
Okay. I
So I
think,
was also, yeah. Is there
yeah.
anything else, Chetan, that you
Yeah.
want to
I
add?
think we have touched upon the cinematic aspects very in depth. Uh, Abhi, you wanted to speak about the non-cinematic aspects as well. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, I was,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Go
I mean,
ahead. Go ahead.
yeah. See, I was. There are two aspects to it, right? One is the Kannada cinema, right? When you look, talk about Kannada cinema, we've seen movies by Dr. Rajkumar, 70s, 80s. Then we have seen the era of Vishnuvardhan, Ambrish, then Shankar Nag, Anant Nag, then Ramesh Arvind, Ravichandran was there. Then Sudeep and all started coming in. Darshan, they were all there. Then Ganesh and all, they kind of came in, and now Rishabh Singh, right? So uh, the respect that Kannada cinema was getting when Rajkumar and all were making movies, I think it got dipped a little, and I think now because of some of these movies, I feel that Kannada cinema is being looked at again as a good storyteller, not at par with, let's say, Malayalam movies, but I feel that there is something like that, right? So my thought was purely from the whole cinema landscape. Let's look at just India. I think that Kantara, the Garuda Gamana, Charlie 777, Sapta Sagardacello, Sarkari, all of these movies have contributed a lot to bringing in the respect that the Kannada film industry deserves. I think it is something that these guys should take forward, right? And I see, for example, Rishabh working on some Telugu movies and all. I don't know. Somehow I felt I really respected when Rajkumar declined to do any other language movies. I don't know. Some sort of a Kannada feeling comes in when you think like that. I don't know whether Raj will also go in that direction. Although Gowda is a big Raj fan and he will
Hey,
disagree.
Rajbi
But
Shetty has already done a Malayalam movie.
oh yeah, yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's done a Malayalam. But I feel that I think Kannada cinema as such, I wanted to discuss the landscape of how Kannada cinema has changed over a period of time according to your sensibilities, right? Of the movies that you have grown up watching. For example, I remember Vadahuttidavaru and Akasmika, and Yajamana and all of those. And then there was a very collective family experience. Then it became Mungaru Malays and all that. Then Ravichandran era, of course, who can who can forget that, right? And then suddenly the stories were very metro with Pavan Kumar coming in and simple Sunni stories and all. And now it has gone back to cultures, roots, and all that with with such stories coming in, right? Where even Garuda Gamana, although it's a gangster film, it is set in Mangala Devi, right, which is again very authentic. So a lot of respect has come back to Karnataka as a landscape, geographically as well as the storytelling, which is a good thing I believe to happen. So that is another aspect that I feel that Kannada movies like Kantara are helping the Kannada landscape, whether the Kannada film landscape. So that was the non-cinematic, the overall, uh, you know, approach with which Kannada film industry is being taken into is also changed according to.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you guys agree.
So this is what you just mentioned, right? Like, these things, even though they look like Kannada pride as a state, as a Kannada people. So these are not uh, these things were not done in a collective setup. This is very personal for Rishabh Shetty. This is very personal for Rajbi Shetty because they they're outsiders. They come here, they try to fit in. They did not fit in. Then they start telling their stories. Somehow their story started clicking, their own stories. If and the and it's the same thing, right? Like they're all outsiders. Okay, if you look at all these people who came and made some difference to Kannada movies, they were considered outsiders. They were not even from Bangalore. Shankar Nag,
Hmm.
again outsider. He was an outsider. All this, the whole Shetty gang is outsider. Pawan Wadiyar is like he has done some amazing stuff, crowdfunding a movie. So he's gone to a different level. So and also these people do interact with lot of lot of people, like lot of other people outside the industry, all those things. If you're just living in a silo, right? Like you keep churning those DVD movies. You sit in a studio, you keep doing those DVD movies. What happened in 90s is make DVD movies. 90s and entire 2000, 2000. I mean, until very recently, they were all DVD movies. If you, there are a lot of people whose entire career is on DVD movies. They have not done any original movies. They're also superstars.
Yeah, yeah.
So even
No, but I
Ramesh's
think
movies, a lot of Ramesh's movies are also remakes. They're
Yeah.
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. No, no,
equally
that
there are amazing original movies. Namura Mandara Uve, America, America. They're all amazing
yeah.
movies. So that's because again, like Sunil Kumar Desai, Nagati Alli, they were all amazing, but they were overpowered by these remakes in 90s.
Hmm.
Nagati Alli
Hmm.
predominantly made movies in 90s, but he was overpowered by remakes. If you look at Humale, America, America, they both are like really good movies. Like Humale is too good. Like, he went to Assam. He picked up some Ulfa terrorist concept from Assam. He made a movie about that.
Hmm.
He picked up the
Hmm.
cultural shock in US and made a movie about that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think what I also mean is that, of course, they picked up stories from this part of the world and that part, and they made, which was again very brave. But what is also happening is the internal our stories, right? And I was also thinking about it, and Chetan, you might be able to think. For example, when we look at North Karnataka, right? The history of North Karnataka and all. I don't know whether because I saw a very coastal dominated movie, I feel that there are so many stories to be told about North Karnataka as well, right? So I think that sense of pride in telling your local story on a big screen has kind of come back in, is what I feel that everybody wants to
No,
do now.
no, no, no. That's whole pride thing is wrong. So the way you should, America does not come from some newspaper story. It is his own experience. His wife was a
Yeah.
software engineer. He went there. He lived there for a while. He was a part-time professor or something. He lived there. Through his experience, he did it. Like if you want some story from Belgaum, you're looking at it like some historical aspect. No, don't go to history. Just present. Present the present.
No, no, no. I'm not talking the
Hmm.
historical part of it. For example, what I was referring to is that, there was a big political war that was going on in Kokak when I was there, and Chetan is aware of it, right? There was one, and I don't want to take names, right? There is one party that was against split against again, and we used to see dead bodies in the main roads and all that. There is so much content that we have seen through our own eyes. Now, what is happening is that with such stories, right, you are getting a confidence that if I put this story in this nice format and if I tell, maybe it's the time for me to tell that story as well, right? So your ability to tell these nice local stories also is now possible, and that's the change that I'm seeing with a lot of Kannada movies. At least it was there in Hindi movies. I know, for example, Anurag
See,
Kashyap made a lot of those movies.
I think the stories were always local. The stories, you look at Shankar Nag's movie, Hindal Gajal.
Yeah,
It is, where is
yeah,
the Hindal Gajal? He did not go to Parapnagar. He was in
yeah,
Hindal
yeah,
Gajal. The,
yeah.
the bank that they loot is in Karwara. He's from
Correct.
Honavar. So
Yeah, yeah.
they are
He's
making
from.
very local movies since long time.
Yeah, yeah. Though,
When
yeah.
you
I mean,
remake a Tamil movie, right, that's when you struggle where to place the story because it's a story from Thrissur that you are trying to place in
yeah,
Karnataka. That is a
yeah,
problem.
yeah,
Whenever it is a original story, Sunil Kumar Desai, he predominantly he took people to Yana. Everybody was
yeah,
like, "What is this place?" I am like, "I know this
yeah,
place. I know this place. I go here
yeah,
often." So
yeah, yeah,
that was not new for us.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that whole thing, like Sunil Kumar Desai's movies were well placed in lot of
yeah,
places that he was familiar with. So this is
yeah,
not new. This is not coming from Rishabh Shetty, Rakshit Shetty's movies. This existed, but they were overpowered by people who were trying to place some Tamil Nadu village's story in a Karnataka village.
Yeah.
yeah,
That is a problem.
Yeah, for any industry to be highlighted, their movies, their culture, and their literature to be celebrated, I think there are two main aspects. One is the creator, and one is the audience. The Kannada film industry is struggling in both the aspects. Even if any creator makes a movie crowd-funded or any small budget movie, there is not so much of audience support from the Kannada people itself. Look, Malayalam film industry is celebrated because Malayalis watch those movies. They don't collect like 50, 100, 200 crores movie. It collects barely a successful movie like 10, 20 crores. But the people there watch quality movies in the theater so that the producers collect what they require, and also the movies which are celebrated from Malayalam film industry were propped up by reviewers from other industries. So there are many YouTube channels where they go and say top five movies from other film industries, and four of them will be Malayalam, one will be Tamil, and you don't see any Telugu movies. They make it for commercial this thing, but in Karnataka, what happens is the people don't watch the movies, and the creator, and that has a ripple effect on the creators. Okay, people are anyway not watching a movie, let me remake a movie from Tamil or Malayalam or any Telugu film industry, make it commercially successful, and then they are done. There is not risk taking. Why Shankar Nag, why Sunil Kumar Desai, Girish Kasarwalli are celebrated is because they,
Girish
even though they
Kasarwalli is not
told
celebrated.
sorry.
Girish Kasarwalli is not celebrated.
I mean,
I mean,
at least in the
he
art
does not
aspect,
belong
in
to
the
the
arty movie
he does
aspect.
not belong to the same league as Sunil Kumar Desai and
Yeah.
Shankar Nag. They made
Okay.
entertaining movies. He makes award movies. He wants awards. None of his
Yeah.
movies are watchable.
Okay.
Okay, so
So
he's not in the same league.
even if you see
who made
Putana
who
Kangal
made card
or Shankar Nag, Sunil Kumar Desai, they made really good movies and were watched by the audience. So they had that courage to make a movie, so that Kannada movie going audience watched those. What happened in 2000 is, yeah, the remake culture came, and the what I believe is the stars like Shivraj Kumar, then came Sudeep, Darshan, and all. Even though they did commercial movies, those were not path breaking. They were just rehash of one movie after another. And at one point of time, a star has to take risk and make a movie that breaks norms. See, Shah Rukh Khan did in the 2010s to 2020 with Zero, with Fan. I
fan?
believe that Fan was a fantastic movie. Shah Rukh
Fan
Khan
slipped
has
in
an
second
image.
half, but
That's
yeah,
why it
but he
didn't.
took the risk at least.
Yeah, Shah
Yeah,
Rukh Khan has an image, and and that movie didn't fit in that image. That's why it didn't work. So for Kannada movies, Kannada film industry to make really good movies, the stars have to take a bigger step. Now I think if Sudeep did it with Vikrant Rona is not your run of a mill commercial movie where he's beating up 100 people at a time or 20 people at a time. It's a story. It takes you to some other place and it goes back. It connects, and I believe the climax was really good, even though it had similarities to what was that?
Rangitaranga.
Bhandar is the previous movie,
Rangitaranga.
Rangitaranga. So the movie was really well made technically. So
See,
that's
but
where this
Chetan,
conundrum with the movie industry is.
see, but to when you said that the stars need to take, for example, when you look at Mungaru Made, Ganesh wasn't a star,
Yeah,
right? When Vandu Motte Kathe came, Raj B. Shetty wasn't a star, or when Garuda Gamana came. I think consistently Malayalam films have good stories,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
I think their stories are brilliant. A lot of effort goes in coming up to get put a a very nice story. For us, I think Kannada film industry, like you said, the stars, they do not want to. They just want to continue banking on the fan, this thing that they have, that they want to make, commercial. Like for example, if there is a Darshan movie, you cannot have a Darshan movie without a fight, right?
yeah,
With his,
yeah.
otherwise the his fans will get disappointed, right? Now there, that's why that imagination only to write that story doesn't come. Now Raj Shetty doesn't work that way. I hope Rishabh and Rakshit don't work that way, that tomorrow I take a movie where now Rishabh is shown as a killer after doing a movie like Kantara, where it is so religious and all. Will Rishabh accept a movie where he's an antagonist and he's a serial killer? I don't know. I think Rishabh should take that risk. Now
Yeah.
if
They should do
this
that. Okay, if you look at Killian Murphy, what did he do after that
Oppenheimer. Yeah.
huge $1 billion movie?
He
uh,
That's
went
an
and made,
amazing
I
movie. I
think,
mean, I watched that
Steve.
movie.
Yeah,
He's not a big. I mean, his character is very small, small in the world. Yeah. So I
yeah.
mean, even I was like talking to a lot of my friends. Why are these people hesitant to act? You are an actor. I don't even call it a risk, man. It is you're giving big words like take the risk, do the experiment. No, you get paid for acting. You get appreciation for acting. So the if movie can work, like you don't have to be a big star when you comes whose background
See,
music comes. Look at Ravi Anna. Ravi Anna's character enters. There is like it's amazing. So from so worked and that character worked, and it is not a star's entry. There's no huge entry. Those kind of things are not necessary. You can have a
but I'll
normal
tell
movie.
you, Gauda,
You can
to be
work.
very honest, like, yeah, see, I had the privilege of being in a room where such discussions were happening, of, for a film. The way they look at it is, okay, if I bring in a North Karnataka character, I'm going to increase my collections by 5 crore. If I'm bringing, let's say, so that's the way storyboards are happening currently, because they want to increase the reach by, oh, this can be at interval point. So I feel that
This,
everything is
this
driven by
yes, yes.
commerce.
This has been happening forever. This happens in every industry. Okay. There is those are not the, when you talk about Kantara, right? Like the original Kantara. When you talk about Garuda Gamana, these discussions did not happen for those movies. That's why they have come out that way.
Yeah.
When Shankarna was making Accident, this discussion was not there. If you look at
Yeah, I
Accident, there
agree.
are six characters. There are only six characters in the entire movie. That's it.
Mm.
There are no more
Mm.
characters. So the thing is, I mean, it is not driven by okay North Karnataka. No, why are you bringing a North Karnataka guy?
No, no, no.
This
I'm
is a
saying
story set
majority of
in.
the movies.
Yeah,
Majority of the
I
movies, it is.
know, I know. I'm talking about those people. Like, see, those people will do because they're always calculating those things. Why do you think item songs are there in movies? And that is totally unnecessary. Even in Rajkumar films, you will see item songs. I mean, this has been in existence for a long, long time. So this commercial
Yeah.
aspect and making
No, no,
counting what contributes to the movie, that's there. Risk takers are always these outsiders
yeah, yeah,
because they don't know, they don't have these calculations, and they are very naive. They will come and fight with the producer. If they find producer, they will fight with him. No, I want to
yeah.
keep this. That's what happened with Ududavar Kandante. Even the producer
Yeah.
was naive. He was not very mature guy. Simple Suni was
Correct.
like, even for him making a movie, producing a movie was new thing. Both were
Yeah.
naive. They made Ududavar Kandante.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
and even I see that in the OTT space as well, the Kannada content is not that booming, because I think if you want to make a really good movie or a series or a web series, OTT is a very low hanging fruit. I mean, you don't need that much of capital to make a really good movie or a web series and let it grow. So that's where
No,
even the audience
Srikanth.
doesn't watch the OTT series, and even in the OTT series, you are not getting that good stories as well. Yeah,
No,
Sorry,
the thing is,
there are six
it's
minutes left. Six
yeah,
minutes left.
it's
I'm
not
just
the money, right? It's not the money that is stopping anybody from telling the stories. You can make a movie with an iPhone. It's not the money. It's not the process of making the movie. It's the it's the dedication and
yeah,
hard work that is necessary to write the script. That is the most difficult part, and people often
correct.
underestimate how prepared you should be before you touch the camera. You
Yeah,
cannot just take a camera and start making, like, even reels, good reels, if you see, they people work on them for weeks before shooting them. So
yeah,
the
yeah,
thing, the content is it is not there. It's not money which is stopping people, because without money, a lot of movies came, right? Like Vandu Motte Kate, he was still working as a radio jockey when he wrote that movie. When he started the process, when he got one room somewhere and started working on the script, polishing the script, they were still working. So it's not the
yeah.
money; it's the will to
It's the
do those
passion
things.
they need. Yeah,
yeah,
No, passion is overused, over abused word. I don't want to use the word passion. Go with some discipline. Go do, if you really like it, you should be able to write it for 2 years without getting any returns. So only after
yeah,
2 years you start seeing the results. You go tell those scenes. I mean, everybody says, okay, let's do one sitting. I'll tell the entire story. No, man, like, test the scenes. Go tell one scene to someone. See if they laugh. See if they cry. See if they ask what happens next. Or see if they ask you, ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬಂತು? I mean, those are the things that you start doing if you want to be a
yeah,
filmmaker. Like, you can't have a Word document and send it to someone and say, okay, read this story. No, you are not a good filmmaker. You're not at all a good filmmaker if you're doing that.
yeah,
Test the scenes. There is a
cool.
process. Like, if there is no process, invent the process yourself.
Yeah,
But don't say there is no money. Money is not required today.
yeah.
mm, good point. Yeah. Okay. Any closing comments from you guys? And also one question, if you can answer this in brief, how will Kantara Chapter One will affect the future of Kannada movies, Kannada filmmaking?
I think
I can go.
the last
Uh,
segment that we discussed is, it already was
yeah,
focused on the influence of Kantara and other movies made by Karavali people, right? So,
yeah, yeah. So I think one thing I hope that this doesn't become a template movie like KGF became, because a lot of movies tried to immediately copy that template and made their own. Kabza, I remember all those movies. So I hope that this doesn't become. The good things it needs to take is, you need to do an amazing production value. I think the production design and all, I hope they pick up, kind of from there. And like Gauda mentioned, I hope that we switch to a completely different topic where Rishabh Shetty plays some sort of a serial killer or some detective wearing some nice suit, and also I want him to change his this thing. But Kantara is a very important movie for Kannada film industry. It has redefined how production values and all that. Now we used to talk about production values in Tamil cinema and all. I think this has surpassed everything.
Yeah,
It is as good as what you see a Hollywood studio making a movie. So I'm super proud of all that, and I hope that Rishabh Shetty tells some other amazing stories in some other fields as well.
yeah. Nora, from you?
yeah, I think we already covered. So it's a really important movie in a lot of ways, also because I think it's very close to touching 1,000 crores in box office collection. So it feels good to go and see that Wikipedia page. Okay,
Yeah,
top 10, there are two Kannada movies. So
KGF 2 and Kantara. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's there. But yeah, like, production value, it's there, and hopefully this will when Rishabh Shetty sits down, watches the movie, he will feel the same that Abhijit is feeling. Okay, I'm done with this. Let me wear a suit. Let me get rid of my beard
Yeah,
and long hair. Do a movie where I don't look like divine. Like he 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 has to do other things. He's
yeah,
capable. Like
yeah, yeah,
Tarkari, his comedy timing is amazing. So
Yeah,
he
yeah,
can do justice to a comedic role.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Agree.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Kantara and Kantara Chapter 1 are really landmark movies, even more so than KGF Chapter 2. My only hope is Rishabh and other people who are famous now in Kannada, making Kannada movies don't run off to other industries like Prashant Neel did. Prashant Neel was famous because of Ugram and KGF, both the chapters, and now he's gone to make movies in other industries. We need creators who made big, who know how to execute a project to stay in the industry and make Kannada movies than chase something else. So that was my closing point. Okay, then thank you guys. It was a really whirlwind discussion. We touched upon many aspects, cinematic, non-cinematic, really deep dive. It was a really rich discussion, and I thank you both. And I hope we'll meet again to discuss some other movies
Yeah,
from which you want to. Also, guys, please drop in the comments which movies you want us to discuss and deep dive into Kannada movies. Gauda is really a nerd when it comes to Kannada movies and history and everything. So if you want us to do a deep dive into a Kannada movie, please drop in the comments and also like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. See you next time.
awesome. Thank you
thank
all.
you.
Bye.
Bye.